What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching episode 7 of She-Hulk. Now, if you guys don't know, my reaction is going to be under my YouTube memberships. If you guys aren't aware, my YouTube memberships has been up for probably a little over 2 weeks now. So just so you guys know, I have 2 levels over there for memberships. First level is $2.99, and for that, you're going to get priority replies from me, which means I can see 20 comments underneath my video. If you're the 20th person, you're the first one that's going to get a reply from me because you are a member. You're going to get special polls from me, things that I should do, different ideas that I have and things like that. And you're also going to get live streams with me. Those are going to start when my memberships get to a certain point. I'm just waiting for that to grow a little bit more. Level 2 is for $4.99, and you're going to get everything that level 1 has. Plus, you're going to get all of my reactions to shows like this, House of the Dragon, Dragon Ball first season, Naruto first season, any movies that I watch, and all of my uncut Try Not to Laughs. All right, so go and check that out. Now, this episode was definitely better than the last. I gotta say, I am really enjoying. I am enjoying She-Hulk. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I'm enjoying it. I'm here for the ride. The last episode, episode 6, was very blah to me. In my opinion, it was probably the most boring episode so far. I just couldn't connect with it. I had no feelings at all towards it. It felt like a throwaway episode. Like, it was just weird. I just couldn't. This episode was more seamless. I can engage with it. I got connected to it. So I actually enjoyed it. So Jen met this guy in the last episode at her friend's wedding. And, I was kind of like, they seem awkward together, whatever. So then in this episode, we see that she began dating him. Now, immediately, I was just like, even like when they were showing the previews of what happened last episode, I said, you know what? I have a really weird feeling about him. Like, something is up with him. I just feel it, like something's not right. I don't know. I said, maybe it's my spidey senses. Maybe it's nothing, but we'll see. I don't know. So we see that they're getting together and they're going on these dates. And they're going out to eat, they're watching movies, and every time they go out on a date, you see him walking her to the door. And, at first, it's like an awkward handshake. Then they're getting closer and closer. And I think by the 3rd date, she brings him in. She gets up in the morning, he's not there. She's smiling, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm happy for her because she finally found somebody who actually likes Jen and doesn't care to want to know about She-Hulk. So I was like, you know what? I was happy for her. And I was like, okay. So let's see where this goes. Now, she sends him a message, something along the lines of, you know what? That was fun. I can't stop smiling. He didn't respond. So I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe he's busy. He'll text her. But then once we started seeing the timeline unfold, I was just like, no, here go my spidey senses. I said, something's not right. And it's not that he's busy. Something's up. Something's up. Something's up. I kept saying it. So we see that she's at work. She's paying attention to her phone. She keeps refreshing. At one point, she has to go, I think, with one of the officers, or I forgot who he is. They have to go check on Abomination because I guess he's on some type of house arrest bracelet or something. So that went off. So they have to go check that. So he calls her to go with him. Now they go up there and she's still looking. She's trying to find signal somewhere. They get there and everything checks out. He's fine. So when she's getting ready to leave, these 2 dudes, one of them is El Matador and the other one is Man Bull or something like that. They go and tumble onto her car, destroying the front of her car. She turns into She-Hulk, throws him to the side. Now she can't drive anywhere. She has no choice but to stay on Abomination's compound. So now she's walking around looking for service, and she can't. So he walks away, and he's trying to talk to her, trying to, him and his whole feng shui situation. So he's trying to talk to her, and she's still trying to find signal because she is so stuck on Josh. And at one point, she starts walking around and she sees like this little cottage, and she goes in and she finally finds service, but it's him having this group meeting with all these other guys, including the ones that messed up her car. So then another guy comes in who ends up being one of the guys in the alley that tried to jump her and take her Hulk blood or whatever. So then they notice that she's constantly paying attention to her phone. Long story short, they kind of bring out, okay, like, what is it that's going on with you? They're all having identity issues, and one of them thinks he's a vampire. The other one, Porcupine, he doesn't take his mask off. Then you got the two other guys. Then the guy that came in that was in the alley. And then there's her. So she basically lets them know what happened. So they're like, oh, why did you say that? And they're now acting like a whole bunch of girlfriends trying to give her advice, but she's the only girl there. So they're like, oh, you should have never said that. He was like, well, that's not the only thing I said to him. And they're like, well, what else did you say? And then she said, I don't know, she said, I hope you're okay, or something along those lines with an emoji. And they were like, why did you do that? So they're all giving her advice, and she gets to a point where she really starts to unmask her feelings behind She-Hulk and herself. And she just felt some type of way because she deals with wondering if people like her as Jen if she didn't have She-Hulk attached to her. So she starts getting emotional, and I understood where she was coming from, and I felt bad for her because I'm like, it makes sense for her to wonder that way. And here comes this guy who likes Jen, and he doesn't care to know anything about She-Hulk, and then she feels rejected. She feels that she got ghosted because she's Jen, or, for whatever reason. So she feels some type of way about that. So then they all convince her to delete his number, to let him go, to turn back into Jen. So she turns into Jen, and they all have her back. And at one point, they're all like, all right, you know what? Josh basically needs a butt whooping. We all need to, go after him or whatever. But anyway, long story short with that, they all have their kumbaya moment, and she's happy. She deletes his number, and tow truck comes to take her car. Finally, she goes on the road, and they all say goodbye to her. And then once she's on the road in the tow truck, it says the screen pops up 3 days earlier. And when I tell you, you guys have got to go see my reaction, because when it showed her going back to her place with Josh, it showed what actually happened that night. And I tell you, I kid you not, I was like, you know what? I knew it. I knew something was wrong with him. I knew he was sketchy. He ended up copying her entire phone on his phone and taking a picture of her. And then he sends a message with syringes and the Hulk and a smiley face or something like that. And I'm like, oh, did he inject her with, did he take her blood? With her sleeping? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, what did he do to her? And I was just like, you know what? I knew he was no good. I knew he was no good. So now we have to find out who he's connected to. I'm wondering, this is my assumption. That site that her lawyer friends were looking at when she was, talking to him after the wedding, and they were looking at this site, and they were basically trying to erase her from the face of the earth. It was just a whole bunch of slander, and this site that just kind of wants to ruin her. I'm wondering if he's part of that or if he's the one running it. Because he's partnered up with somebody. He sent that message to somebody. So I'm definitely curious to know who he's partnered up with and who he is working with to try to get her blood or whatever. So this episode, for me, you guys may not agree, but this episode made up for the last one, for sure. If you want to see my reaction, go over under my YouTube membership, sign up to be a member today, and see my reaction to this and all the other episodes along with my other shows. But in the meantime, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought of episode 7 of She-Hulk. If you enjoyed my review, let me know as well. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!